Whatever your beliefs, AI is only getting bigger and better. It is breaking out new and previously unfathomable ways to offload brain power and quicken our workload. So why not our D&D games as well? For example, we have ChatGPT, where it has such a broad understanding of everything on the internet, we can ask for a Dungeons & Dragons adventure, and it will give us a pretty good option that we can go in and make our own. Okay, so give me a Dungeons & Dragons adventure where a party finds out that the BBEG dragon is actually being controlled by a powerful AI. Well, there you go. Now, I could fill up an entire video on a plethora of AI tools that you could apply to TTRPGs, but instead, I wanted to solely focus on AI applications that were made specifically for D&D and similar games. To help both world building for the DM as well as character building for the player, here are my top 5 AI tools that impressed me and you can use today. Starting with the big one, Quest Portal is basically D&D Beyond meets AI integration. It acts as a VTT complete with scenes, integrated chat, custom tokens, rollable sheets, and GM notes. It also has the free basic rules for D&D, Call of Cthulhu, Blades in the Dark, Dungeon Crawl Classics, and much more, as they have a market now. Or you can just input whatever custom rule set that you have, making template pages of your own. The AI portion is the chat assistant that plugs into whatever game system that you're playing. You can then ask it any questions regarding the system itself. If you forgot how attunement works, just ask. Instead of searching for it in the rulebooks, the AI will respond with the rules it already knows. It can also generate new ideas for taverns, NPCs, adventure hooks, and more. The quality of life comes from it being integrated into the very VTT, so you don't have to leave the page or battle map in order to get your answers. The AI also helps you in character creation, giving you the ability to generate AI art for your tokens. Now, I know that many people have very strong feelings about AI art, and I'm not going to pretend to be an authority on the subject, but my personal belief is that in the comfort of your very own home with your friends, it really doesn't matter. You're probably going to go online and steal some random artist art for your character profile pic anyways. Not all of us are artists or have the money to commission an artist for every character that we have at home. So as long as you're just not passing those things off as your own or getting a monetary income from it, you're okay. But before we move on, I want to point out my favorite feature in Quest Portal, and that is the ability to make templates for characters, monsters, and NPCs, and then you can either import a photo of a stat block or copy and paste it into the text block, and then it will populate itself into your template, complete with rollable buttons that you can click on for their attacks, and it rolls on the screen. Great if you have a bunch of third-party content. Now, much of this is in its paid version, but having a full VTT, AI companion, and powerful generation tools, it is definitely not one to sleep on. If you have absolutely no holdups for AI art, then you might want to check out Summon Worlds, an app that you can get right on your phone that generates both art and descriptions at the touch of a button. But what makes it unique is that it functions a lot like Instagram or other social media sites where you can have a page of your creation that others can view or share, and then like or comment on your favorites. You can generate art for characters, magic items, armor, and even locations that you find while you're adventuring. You can also create a world where you can group your creations together to keep campaigns separate from each other and reference your creations easier. You can even group things further, like items under a certain character, putting the items as the character's inventory. It also has a free and paid version, obviously having more storage and options as you increase in your tier. But you can roll each day for mana that you can spend on your projects. Now, what this app doesn't do is generate mechanics for an item or NPC, though because it is system agnostic in nature, it makes sense. But if we do want that, we can look at another AI tool. A website that generates all of your monster, magic items, and NPC ideas right into a usable stat block for D&D 5th edition without having to know a lick about homebrewing your own stuff. Just enter the challenge rating you want, size, creature type, and more, or leave them all empty with just a custom note about what kind of monster you want, and a full stat block will generate under those criteria that you can even edit further if you wish. Then save it in your in-app folders to organize and reference later. But apart from monsters, you can similarly generate stats for feats, spells, traps, puzzles, magic items, NPC shops, or even adventures, where you can input a number of scenes, the type of quest, like political intrigue or mythic quest. Then it generates an entire adventure with rewards, traps with DCs, and descriptions for monsters to plug into their own stat block. Then similarly, you can use the world generator to generate ideas to the narrative and story that you input into it, though I feel that this one is a weaker feature compared to its very intelligent stat block creations, so you can always use that right now and then go back to the world building stuff later. It also has a world map generation as well as a battle map generation, though there isn't as much customizability with these, but I am sure there is more updates to come. You can pay a monthly subscription for unlimited access or pay for a yearly access at a discounted price. Another similar creator that I will just mention here is actually a Discord channel called Dimension Door that generates just monster stats and magic items, but if you're already using Discord for your D&D games, it is a nice free tool to have. One of the more tedious tasks of being a GM or player is compiling your notes after each session, or after a week goes by, even remembering everything that you did the last session you had. Well, I found a unique way of using AI with GMAssistant. What it does is takes the audio recording of your session and makes the notes for you. You have to pay for each hour it has to dig through, but then it gives a fully fleshed out recap of your entire adventure. You can ask it to give a short or long recap, you can get it in an outline bullet point form, or you can even have it retell the adventure in cryptic poem form. You can also tell it what kind of NPCs, locations, or characters to look for, or it will populate locations, items, and characters into their own subjects on its own to reference their notes and where they were mentioned last. You can then edit those pages as needed and then share with your players to reference as well. If you have multiple different campaigns, you can have separate databases for each. Then you can also export these notes into Markdown or similar method if you keep all your stuff on Obsidian, Notion, or similar note-taking platform. Now, up until now, none of these AI platforms have sponsored me in any way, and while Goalforger has sponsored this video, as well as the last one if you saw my History of Dragon's Breath Weapons video, it is also the very reason I decided to make this video in the first place, because it is truthfully the one that I am the most excited about using. Art isn't a problem for me to find, I have too many stat blocks to know what to do with, and I already have a VTT that I like. And that's how these tools should be, options for everyone, depending on your needs. But there is one aspect of AI that I do find incredibly useful, and that is interweaving storylines, backstories, and choices into a living, breathing narrative. In Goalforger, you can input all of your campaign information, your character's backstory, your NPCs, your villains, your world lore, and your many factions within your world. Then, with a click of a button, you can have the AI tie your world together. It can make adventure paths, story hooks, campaign ideas, and it can even decide on what your factions and world is doing in the background. Put in your homebrew world, or give it your Curse of Strahd adventure. As you continue to update it with your players' choices each session, the AI will help your campaign along a satisfying narrative. It will even give you overviews of what happened each session as you update it. The great thing as well is that it is currently in crowdfunding, meaning that you can help influence its development and help make Goalforger the DM helper it is supposed to be and that you want. Let them know what you want to see so it has the greatest potential use at your table. Back it through the link below and let them know the Cleric Corner sent you. But whatever your needs, I hope that you can take what is most exciting to you and build upon your skills as a dungeon master or storyteller. But one last thing before we close out the video. Now, as we are at the end of the video, I wanted to share something more of a personal note. I debated sharing this on my channel because I don't like drawing attention to my personal life or misusing the platform that I have built, nor your trust. However, if I can't use my own platform to bless and help my own family, then why do I even have it? That said, me and my wife are about to give birth to our first baby boy named Atlas. In fact, as this video is pre-recorded, we are likely currently staying at an out-of-town hospital in preparation for the birth or awaiting recovery in the NICU. Unfortunately, our little Atlas has developed with spina bifida, a condition where normally a portion of the spinal cord bulges from the back. In his special case, it is an open wound to his spine, which has many medical implications which I won't go into detail here. This will require a few surgeries immediately after birth and continual care as he grows up, depending on the severity of his condition, which we won't know at length until he is born. If you would like to help, or just as a thank you to my many years of making videos on this channel, there is a link to our GoFundMe page in the link below. You can find more information there. We are confident our monetary goal there will help us immensely in his first year of life, as we want to focus less on where our next paycheck and money is going to come from, and more about just loving our firstborn child. If you would like something in return for your donation, you can also support me on Patreon, where you can access the Everything tier for just $10, get my whole library of ongoing D&D homebrew with subclasses, magic items, and more, and then you can unsubscribe again right after. This will all go towards Atlas and his continual health. With his whole world literally riding on his back, you can see why Atlas was such a perfect name. If you could help lighten that load, my family will be forever grateful. In whatever case, thank you all for continuing to support my family by watching my videos, commenting, and sharing your amazing ideas with me. I may be taking a small break in video content here soon for obvious reasons, but until then, go out there and make your worlds a better place. See ya.